Hello everyone, in this video we are going to analyze the functions where our function is going to have a return value. So far whatever we have done in functions, we didn't get any return value from the function that we have called from the main. So when we call the function, we execute certain set of codes which are the part of that function, but we are not getting any return value from that function, right? So that's the reason why you see a void in front of the function name. That is, the return type is void, so it is not returning any value to the function from where it has been called, right? So in this case what we are going to do, we are going to call the function and the function is going to return some value to the function, that is main in this case, from where it is being called. Okay, so we will perform the addition of the two numbers by making use of the function where our function is going to give us a return value. So to start the program, we will first include the header file, which in our case is going to be stdio.h. Then I will quickly write the main function, void main. Here I am going to first ask the user to enter the first number, right? Printf, enter the first number. Then to scan the number, scanf %t, comma and a, right? So I have to declare this a variable, and for second number I will be making use of variable b, so I am defining it as integer type. Now I will ask the user to enter the second number, right? So here the user is going to enter the second number, we are going to scan it and we are going to bring it in variable b, right? So now we have the first number in a and the second number is b. What I will do is I will call the function to add these two functions, add these two numbers. So my add is the name of the function, and now we will pass the values a and b to this function, right? So now what we will do is we will define the function my add, and instead of writing void I will be writing int, because it is going to return an integer value. So int, and then the name of the function my add. Within the bracket you define two variables, int x comma int y, right? So now we will declare a local variable over here, int z, and z will be equal to x plus y, right? So that's how we are going to add these two numbers. Now instead of printing the result from my add function, I will make use of the keyword return. So I will write return, and within the bracket I will use the name of the variable value which I need to return. So here in this case, z variable, which contains the sum of the two numbers, that is something which we are going to return. That is something which we are going to return. So return z. Now when the function is going to return some value, it has to be stored somewhere. So when this function is going to be called, these three lines are going to be executed. The time this return statement will be executed, z value will be returned back to the main function, and now we have to store it. So we'll declare a variable c, and c will be equal to my add a comma b. So this z value which is returned back, this will now be stored in variable c, right? So the return value is stored in variable c. Now your result is there in c variable, we have to just print it. So what we are going to do, printf the addition result is %t comma c. That's it. So the code looks to be perfect. We'll just save it. I'll save it with the name, let us say my add 12, and it's a c file, so the extension should be .c, and we are going to save it in some folder, right? So save. Now this looks fine. We have to compile the code. I'll go to execute and compile this. Okay, so it says that there's some issue over here. What we need to do, we just need to give a spacing over here. We'll save it, we'll compile it again. So when you compile, you get to know if you have committed any syntax error or not. In case you have committed, you always have an option to go back and correct it. So now the code is functioning fine. We'll run this program. Now it is asking me on the console to enter the first number. I'll enter 34, enter the second number 56, and now you see when I add, the addition result is 90, right? So in this case, what has happened? We have entered the two numbers, we have taken them into variable a and variable b. On line number 18, what we have done, we have called a function called myadd. We have passed in the arguments a and b. The value of parameters a and b are passed to the function called myadd, and when I call this, the mapping is going to take place. X will become equal to a, y will become equal to b. Now addition is going to be performed in this function, and the return type in this case is int. So this function is going to return us some value. That value is contained in variable z. So I'm writing on line number 8, return statement return z, and this function is going to return the z value to the function from where it has been called. So it has been called from main. On line number 18, the value will be returned and c will become equal to z, right? So z will now be available over here for us, and it will be stored in c variable. So now the result of addition is stored in variable c. We have to just print it, and this is where we have printed it. The addition result is %d, c. So this is a classical example of performing addition of the two numbers with the help of functions, and in this case we have considered the case where we are passing the parameter values and we are having a return value from the function. So now you know how we have to design any program in C by making use of functions where we have return value, coming out of the function. Okay, so that's it guys. I'll see you in the next video.